What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be making my NBA playoff predictions for 2021. And I'm going to include the play-in games that are happening this Tuesday and Wednesday. And let's get right into it. No other discussion needed. The first game of the play-in will be between Indiana and Charlotte. Both these teams, right? The last two teams in this Eastern Conference bracket. Indiana, they're dealing with some injuries right now. Miles Turner's out. And for Charlotte, they don't have Gordon Hayward. A big question for Indiana is, will Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert play in this game? They probably will. And they're a pretty good team with Domantas Sabonis. And they got a string of really good veterans. So does Charlotte, led by LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier. These are two rising teams, two young rising teams. Indiana's always been in a playoff mix for the past couple of years. But, yeah, I got to go Indiana. They've got more experience and a little bit more talent than Charlotte right now. So the Pacers are moving on. Next game, Boston and Washington. Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal said his hamstring wasn't 100%. That's a big question. And for Boston, they don't have Jaylen Brown, so that's another question for them. They've been really inconsistent this year. Washington is red hot, led by Russell Westbrook. I think the Wizards can pull this one off in Boston. I got them winning this game. And now let's move over. So it would be, I believe how the play-in tournament works, it's going to be Washington playing the winner of Indiana. I think, yeah, something like that. Okay, let's move into the West. Memphis and San Antonio. Of course, two really good teams, but not that good enough to be a legitimate playoff team. The Grizzlies, I believe they are missing somebody. I can't think of his name right now, but they might be missing somebody. San Antonio, they're a solid team, but they don't have too much other than DeMar DeRozan, DeJounte Murray. Just a bunch of really good, solid young pieces, I guess you could say. I got to go Memphis. They were so close to making the playoffs last year. And once again, should be the 8th seed right now, but they're the 9th seed. I got them winning this game. Lakers and Warriors. This is going to be a really good game. LeBron and the Lakers have been injury-plagued all season. So LeBron just came back against the Pacers last Saturday. And Golden State is really red hot right now. So this is really a toss-up, I would want to say. But come on, the Lakers are the defending champs. I'm not going to say this is an easy win, but it's going to be a close game. But the Lakers will pull it out and beat the Warriors. So we're going to have the Grizzlies and Lakers and Washington and Indiana. And then I think it's for Boston, so Charlotte and San Antonio, they're both out. So Washington, no. Okay, so Boston takes on Indiana. Okay. So yeah, Boston's going to beat Indiana. And the Lakers are going to beat the Grizzlies. So it should be and the Warriors are going to beat the Grizzlies. My bad. So yeah, Lakers will be the 7, Warriors will be the 8, and Washington will be the 7th seed, and Boston will be the 8th seed. I think Boston, they're struggling of late, but I think they're good enough to beat Indiana. Okay, let's move on to the playoff bracket now. Let me move it to that tab. All right. Get this tab out the way. And let's start making our playoff predictions. All right, Utah set to take on let's start off in the West. Utah set to take on the Golden State Warriors. This is going to be a really good series. As Draymond Green said, we have Steph Curry. Anything can happen. This ain't a we believe team. This is going to be a really good series. I think Utah can get to the finals, but I definitely can see Golden State giving them one hell of a series. Golden State's good, but they're not good enough to beat Utah in a 7-game set. I got to go with the Jazz here in 6. Curry's going to give them all they can handle, but he can't do it all himself, If those other guys aren't going to show up, then, what can you really say? I mean, it can go 7, but yeah, I don't see it. Unless those other guys, Oubre and Wiggins, really step up. Draymond plays like the MVP. Let's move on to the Clippers and Mavericks. This is a rematch of last year's 2020 first round series. I got to go with the Clippers in 7 here, but it's going to be a really close series because now they're going to have Porzingis back. Like last year, they didn't have Porzingis, and that series went 6. So I got to go Clippers in 7. Oh, why does it keep on taking me there? It's going to be a really close series. Luka's going to give them everything they can handle. And, the Clippers might choke here and there. I really feel like the series could go either way, to be honest. Nuggets and Blazers. The Nuggets, led by MVP candidate Nikola Jokic. Blazers by MVP candidate Damian Lillard. I got a man. The Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray. The Blazers, fortunate to get the 6th seed with avoiding the play-in game. I think Damian Lillard is riding red hot into this series. They're going to shock the world and beat Denver, just like they did in 2019, in 7 games. That's my upset pick here in the West. And of course, my second upset pick, the Lakers taking on the Suns. Chris Paul leading that team, LeBron and the defending champ Lakers with Anthony Davis. This is going to be an awesome series. CP3 versus LeBron, 2 buddies. But CP3 and those Suns, CP3 is really the only player on that team that has any playoff experience other than Jay Crowder. And I'm not going to say they're going to get it handed to them, but the Lakers are going to take them out in 6. I got the Lakers winning this series in 6 games. I know it's shocking to y'all. Phoenix, the 2 seed led by CP3 and everything, but CP3 tends to choke in the playoffs. I mean, I think he was going to show up. Yeah, 6 may be a bit disrespectful, but it is the defending champion Lakers. They are injury plagued, but they're healthy now. I got to take a healthy Lakers in 6 there. All right. Moving over to the East, we got the 76ers and the Boston Celtics. These 2 rival teams played each other back in the 2018 playoffs. Philadelphia looking for revenge. Boston without Jaylen Brown, they're going to really struggle in this series. Philadelphia, they really got to prove to everybody that they can compete in the East and be a legitimate contender. Oh yeah, and this is a rematch of last year's first round series. So yeah, Philadelphia has to get revenge. But yeah, I got Philadelphia in 5 games. Tatum's gonna at least get 1 game. Knicks and Hawks. Knicks back in the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Hawks back in the playoffs for the first time in likely, I think 4 years, I think. Yeah, so these 2 young upcoming franchises on the rise. The Knicks have been red hot. So have the Hawks. But the talk of New York right now, I got to go with the Knicks in 6. I mean, the Hawks are stacked, but I'd like the Knicks, how they're rolling right now. Actually, I think this can go 7, to be honest with you. They're pretty even teams. Milwaukee and Miami, a rematch of last year's first round series. It's going to be a really good series. I want to say Miami can win this series, but, Butler's a little banged up right now. He's a little bit inconsistent of late. Milwaukee won the last matchup between these 2 teams last Saturday. Giannis, he's on a mission. He needs to get that championship to get all these haters off his back. Giannis and the Bucks in 6. Brooklyn and the Wizards. Russell Westbrook versus Kevin Durant. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be one hell of a series. This is the series that all of the NBA fans want to see. And the Wizards, Bradley Beal and Westbrook, they're going to give it to them. They don't have anybody really outside of those 2 that can really, lead the charge other than Roy Hachimura. But obviously Brooklyn with the big 3, unstoppable. But Kyrie Irving said, he's not focused on basketball right now. That's a problem. I can definitely see the Wizards taking 2 games at the Verizon Center here against the Nets. Obviously the Nets are going to win this series, but Westbrook's going to be on a different level playing against Kevin Durant. It's going to go 6. All right. Moving on to the second round, Utah and the Clippers. Let me just say it. The Clippers are cursed. They're never going to reach the conference finals. They are the conference finals virgins of the NBA. It's not going to happen, LA Clippers. The Jazz, people are sleeping on the Jazz so hard, but y'all going to be surprised. Just so y'all are surprised at them getting the 1 seed. Donovan Mitchell has been in the playoffs the past 3 years and has been disappointed in the past 3 years by some tough breaks in the final minutes where he's turned it over or got injured. He wants revenge. He's on a mission. I got the Jazz winning in 7 games here. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George once again choke, and the Clippers experiment may blow up. Portland and the Lakers. All right, Portland's run's going to come to an end here, and a rematch of this last year's first round series. The Lakers are going to win this series. Not much discussion needed here. Lakers in 6. I want to say 5, but I feel like Damian can really give it to them since they do have the home court in this series. Nets and Bucks. This is going to be an awesome series. Bucks have taken the past 2 games from Brooklyn. And, Brooklyn coming off a tough series against the Wizards. They're going to be a little bit tired. Giannis is going to give it to them. But Harden is going to step up, going up against his rival Giannis. He hates Giannis. He's going to give him everything. And, Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday, they got to step up too. But, they're not known for being big-time performers in the clutch either. But Kyrie, he's going to turn it on. Durant is going to turn it on. The other guys, Joe Harris, Jeff Green. It's going to be one hell of a series. Same for the Bucks. Brook Lopez, Pat Connaughton, DiVincenzo. It's going to be more than just the stars, Giannis and Durant. Other guys are going to step up in this series. And it's going to be an all-out clash. But I got to go Brooklyn in 7 games here. The Super 3, the Big 3 of Brooklyn has to move on. Knicks and 76ers. Look, the Knicks had a great year this year, but Philadelphia a little bit. Embiid too strong for them. I know Embiid and Simmons have choked in the playoffs before. Not this year. They're going to reach their first conference finals as they win this series in 5 games. Now let's move on to the Western Conference Finals. We got the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Lakers. Just envision the Laker logo right here. This is going to be a hell of a series, I'm telling you. And the Lakers, I feel like the injury bug's going to bite them some point in during this playoff run for them. Utah has home court. They've got, I think, a 50% capacity. That's going to help. Well, the Lakers, I don't know. They might not have as much capacity, but like 20%, I think. Utah, Donovan is going to turn it on in this series. LeBron's going to give it everything he has, but I feel like Schroeder, Kuzma, or maybe Anthony Davis might get injured in this series. That's going to bite them. It's going to be a hell of a series, but I know this is shocking to y'all, but Utah was my pick. From the midway point of the season, I was like, Utah, man, they could really pull this off. They got 3 All-Stars. I know Gobert is not that guy, but Conley, he's been through some playoff runs. He has what it takes. They got Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson. They've got a stacked championship team. Kind of reminiscent of that 2018 Rockets team. I got them winning the series in 7. LeBron's going to give it everything. He's just going to fall short. I know it's shocking to see Utah in the finals, but it's going to happen. Philadelphia and Brooklyn. Yeah, Philadelphia is just not good enough to beat Brooklyn. Ben Simmons averaging 14 points a game. It's not going to happen. Embiid, as dominant as he is, he can't do it all himself. Tobias Harris is going to choke. Danny Green's going to choke. They're a great team, but I don't even think they're good enough to beat the Bucks or the Heat. So the only reason they're being the Knicks is because the Knicks have no playoff experience. But I got the Nets winning this series I know the Nets are coming off a tough series against the Bucks, but the Knicks are going to really just shock the Sixers. I want to say 5, but I'll give the Sixers another game. Okay, we got the Nets and the Jazz for the NBA Finals here. Bit of unexpected finals. When we started the NBA season, who would have thought Utah? People thought Utah was just going to be a middle-of-the-pack playoff team, and Brooklyn, was definitely in the championship conversation. But with James Harden, they're expected to win it all. Utah, I think they're going to win the first game of this series, but Brooklyn's going to take the next 3 games. Durant, he's going to be on a mission. Harden's definitely going to be on a mission. He's going to be taking over in late in the games. These games might come down to the wire, but James Harden's going to have to hit that big shot to silence all the haters. Utah's going to get game 5 back in Utah, but the Nets were going to win this championship in game 6 to have their first ever championship in franchise history. And I'm going to submit these picks. This is the NBA bracket challenge on NBA.com. And if it's perfect, I win $1 million or whatever. Uh-oh. Well, I'll submit it later. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe, and come back next time. Peace.